Hey guys, welcome to this week's trance. And this week I want to take you a whole level deeper into the series of physical trances. We have done so much work on the emotional and mental side of things, onto that mental programming that we do. And last week we started working on the physical side with this trance called In Love with My Body. Now this week I want to take it a whole step deeper. And we are going to work on activating and reactivating your self-healing powers. Now, before I go into this, of course, I need to make the legal disclaimer that a trance coaching session is no substitute for seeing your doctor, for seeing your physician, or for taking your medication. However, in my experience, it can support a healing process tremendously. Many of you might know that by trade, I'm actually a health coach. I was trained to look at the subconscious blockages, beliefs, associations, traumas, maybe even conflicts, fears, resentments that we carry in our body that can create or hold a disease or illness in the system. When I learned these techniques, I realized that really most of the obstacles, especially the physical obstacles that we encounter, have an emotional root to it. And that sometimes it looks like we're surpassing physical laws or that there is miraculous healings, but for me, it makes complete sense. We all know that when we're in stress, when we're grieving, when we're going through an extremely hard time, that the body suffers, that we feel tension in our body, that our shoulders are seizing up, that we might get a cold, that, when we had a hard time at work, or as I said, we had a grieving process, and then suddenly our body breaks down into a cold or flu. It's normal for people to say, well, it's clear you had so much stress going on, the body is just taking its time now to heal. Now, that seems normal for other people. When you then say, where is the line, where's the border between this? Because the stuff that isn't so obvious, why shouldn't that be creating messages in the body? Let's put it that way. So if we carry a conflict that isn't being addressed, if we carry a resentment in our body, maybe for even 20, 30 years that hasn't been addressed, it might not be so obvious, it might not be on the surface, but it's still working within the system. And it does create a stress and an inflammation in our cellular structure that will eventually manifest. Now, very often with stressful situation, the body is equipped to resolve and work through the emotional stress within 6 weeks. But sometimes, depending on how traumatic an incident is, it gets stuck in the system. And that is when we keep carrying it around. Now, I've seen people release allergies they've had for 15 years. I've got the testimonials, so there's if you want to question this, please find me or write to me, and I can provide the testimonials for this. I've seen cysts disappear in a matter of hours. I've seen joints heal. On my own body, I've seen skin issues disappear in the space of 24 hours. When I was working on them for 3 months and nothing changed. But the moment I addressed the emotional issue behind it, the body could finally release the message, and it could finally release the issue, and it could finally heal itself. That is when it becomes miraculous. Now, but if we look at it from the side of the body's just trying to tell us there's something that is not quite in balance, this wants to be looked at, there's a lesson you have to learn. Maybe you're in a situation that you shouldn't be in. Maybe, as I said, there's a conflict you haven't resolved. Maybe you're still holding on, not forgiving someone that harmed you 30 years ago. That person might not even be there anymore. But we believe we need to hold on to that resentment and that anger in order to pay them back, or in order to protect ourselves that this will never happen again. But what we really do is we keep that vibration active in our system. And of course, that can't be good. So with a trance coaching session, we can address the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is that part in our system that runs all of the processes in our body that we are not consciously aware of, from our breathing, our heart rate, I always say even to our skin elasticity, to everything that we consciously even couldn't control or think we can't control. Now, if in that theta state that we access in a trance coaching session, we can address that autonomic nervous system, we can now give it suggestions and information that support it in the healing process. Why is that so important? Because we are being bombarded with messages from the other side, with messages that are contradicting this, that are standing in contrast to this, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So we turn on the TV or the radio and we hear adverts for all kinds of illnesses, and how we need to protect ourselves with this medication and that medication and what else is making us ill. When we sit on the tube or the subway, we see, another how much, in my case, London is polluted, and how genetically our bodies will cave, and that's a lot of programming as well. So allowing ourselves to enter a state where all that noise can just quiet off and quiet down, we allow the body to now do its work it needs to do and work through the physical side of things, that our cells come back into their natural state of well-being and health, and also allow the body to bring the message up and maybe resolve the issues that we want to resolve in the gentlest and easiest way. Now, some of these lessons we have to learn. If there's a conflict we have to address or a situation we need to leave, then we need to leave that situation, because otherwise it won't be healthy for us. Again, that's common sense and not out there at all for most people. So I want to take you into a deep trance with the following suggestions. I'm just going to read them out for you so you understand where I'm taking you. So the body hears that supportive healing message. I am 100% healthy. My body knows what to do and what it needs in order to be in its natural state of well-being and health. And I am even stronger and healthier with each day that passes. Any emotional, mental, or energetic stress and trigger that I might carry is now being resolved in the gentlest way long before it could ever manifest physically, while I still learn the lesson attached to it. And now I see, feel, and know how each and every cell in my body is vibrating in its natural and perfect state. I am. See? It allows us to still learn the lessons, to have that process of growth. It will bring forth the lesson that we have to learn in a gentle way, in a gentle way, but still allow the body to not go into stress mode and creating ailments and diseases. I now see, feel, and know how each and every cell in my body is vibrating in its natural and perfect state. See, most of us spend so much time in fear that, what might happen, what could happen. If we do this, that, if we eat that, then this happens in my body. If we drink that, and sugar isn't healthy, and this isn't healthy, and all of these things that are of course true. But of course the mental state behind it is a programming in itself. So seeing, feeling, knowing how each and every cell in my body is vibrating in its natural and perfect state is again another information I'm putting in and supporting my body for realigning with nature, for realigning with the health. My body knows what to do and what it needs in order to be in its natural state. So this realigns us with our intuition and doing what our body needs in order to be healthy. So you see, we're working from a holistic level and we're working from all three sides again. I want to invite you to listen to this trance at least 21 to 28 days. Best when you fall asleep at night. Let me know how you're doing. If you have any questions, send me over an email. I try to answer each email. Try to not make them too elaborate. And I'll see you in the membership area, and I hope you enjoy this trance.